name's Carly.
Hi.
It's nice to meet you.
Yeah.
How are you doing?
Oh, I'm doing okay.
So, basically today in session, my goal is that we're going to talk about some of these irrational thoughts that you've been having and kind of a better way to go about dealing with those than you have in the past. Does that sound accurate?
Sure.
Sure? Okay. So, before we start in on the paperwork and such, I kind of just want to get a better idea of something that is going on right now, like a pressing kind of situation that is making you feel dysregulated. So, do you want to go into that with me right now?
I guess. I think I'm just gonna stop responding to all my friends. I think I'm done with them.
Okay. Is there a specific reason why you're going to do that?
I see them on Snapchat and social media all hanging out, and I never get an invite, so they obviously don't want to hang out with me. So I'm just not gonna hang out with them.
Okay. That sounds really difficult. It sounds like you're angry with your friends right now.
I mean, if they made their choice, that's whatever. I'll move on. Find different friends.
Okay. And you have a desire to find new friends? That's something that you're wanting to do?
I just want to hang out with people that want to hang out with me.
Okay. All right. Well, thank you for sharing with me. I appreciate that. And I just want to dive into this a little bit more. I know it sounds to me like this is painful for you, not feeling like your friends are paying attention to you. Is that accurate?
Yeah, I guess.
You guess? Okay. First of all, I'm sorry that you're feeling like that. I know this is really hard.
It's not your fault. That's okay.
Well, I know it's not my fault, but I just want to make sure that you're doing okay.
Yeah, I'm doing great. I'm doing fine.
Okay. All right. Well, today I just want to do this thing. It's called a dysfunctional thought record. And you don't need to really worry about what it's called, but I'm hoping that it will help and that it'll give you maybe a better feeling about what's been happening with your friends. Okay? Does that sound fair?
All right. If you think it'll help.
Okay. All right. So, I'm going to have you fill it out just because this is a tool for you. It's not for me. It's just something that you can use to help you. Does that sound okay?
Sure.
Okay.
If you really think it's going to do something.
I think it'll help. Thank you for your willingness. So, alright, let's start just so we can both see. Alright, so we're just going to go through all these questions, and we're just going to talk. And then, whatever you're comfortable with, just let me know at any time if you're, confused about why I'm asking about something, or, not feeling great about what we're writing, anything like that.
Okay.
Alright, so the first thing we're going to start with is the situation. So you kind of went over, the event, so they're out without you, and you see them on Snapchat and social media.
Mm-hmm.
Is that right?
Yeah.
Alright, so what actual event So then that unpleasant emotion you were feeling, let's kind of expand on that. So whenever your friends are out, without you, how does that make you feel?
I want to know what I did wrong, why I didn't get invited. I thought we all liked hanging out together, but apparently that's not the case, and no one ever told me anything.
Okay. So when you're thinking those thoughts, what emotion is behind those?
I mean, I'm confused.
Mm-hmm.
I'm angry.
Yeah. Okay.
I'm sad. I don't want to be sad, but it makes me a little sad.
Okay. All right. So let's go, just kind of moving here. Let's go under emotion.
Okay.
And then do you feel like which emotion out of the ones you listed, which is the one that you feel the most strongly?
Probably angry.
Okay. So can you go ahead and write angry there for me? Mm-hmm. All right. All right. So those so the unpleasant event. So maybe just write like friends with hung out without me, something brief like that. Okay, great. So your friend stitched you, in your words, and that made you angry. So now moving down, what, if any, distressing physical sensations did you have whenever you were angry?
My head starts to hurt sometimes.
Okay, so you can go ahead and write that down. Okay, and then is that like the main feeling that you have whenever your friends don't hang out with you?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, all right. Thank you again for being so candid with me. All right, so moving on, now we're going to kind of talk about the thoughts that you're having. So when your friends don't hang out with you, what thoughts or even like pictures go through your mind?
Just what I see. I see them all out and having fun. Then I turn around and see myself in the dark, alone.
Okay. So you feel that like intense, lonely feeling whenever they go out without you?
Yeah.
Okay. So would it be accurate to say then that you feel completely alone? That's the thought that comes whenever your friends don't invite you with them. Okay.
Isolated.
Yeah. Do you want to write that down there for me? Just maybe isolated? You feel isolated, or that's the thought that goes through your head? Is there any other thoughts you have whenever your friends hang out without you? Like anything related to your friendship with them, or like, you know, feelings you have about yourself as a, like, through the lens of a friend?
I mean, it it makes me think like I'm obviously must be bad to hang out with. There's got to be a reason.
Okay. So you feel another one of the automatic thoughts that you have is that you're not a fun or interesting friend to hang out with.
Right.
Would that be accurate?
Or I'm annoying or terrible. I don't know.
Okay. Do you want to write those down for me too? Just like, I feel like a bad friend, maybe? Is that accurate?
I don't know. I always thought I was a good friend, but
the thoughts that you're a bad friend, do those
Right.
come whenever you're not included?
Right.
Okay. Alright, so just kind of going through those thoughts, how much did you believe each one on a scale from 0 to 100 at the time? So,
I mean, they felt like the truth, 100%.
yeah.
I don't doubt it until I do see them again, and then they act all friendly, and it makes me wonder
Okay.
just why.
So at the time, it's like 100%. You fully like subscribe to those feelings. Okay. All right. So earlier we kind of identified the emotion that you were feeling was anger.
Mm-hmm.
And at the time when your friends don't hang out with you, how intense are you feeling that anger?
I mean, it gives me a headache. I get so angry.
That sounds like 100% to me, but I don't know. It's
I don't punch any walls or anything.
Yeah. So, I mean, is it lower than you think?
I want to go with 95.
Okay. It's just that headache sounds very, like, intense to me, so.
It's always happened to me anytime anything gets intense.
Okay. All right. So, kind of moving on, we're going to start to, like, reframe these thoughts that you're having and kind of try to make the situation, like, shed some light on what exactly is going on. All right, so to help us kind of figure out what's going on, we're going to look at these cognitive distortions. So basically these are just like common things that I've had clients who have identified with before, and many other people have, so don't feel alone when you look at this list. It's just kind of, it's like an explanation of, the kind of thoughts that you're having, because obviously your friends don't really think you're a bad friend if they don't ask you to hang out once, right?
I guess so. I mean, I do still talk to them occasionally.
I mean, that's maybe something, and we can talk about this more too and flesh it out, but, they're your friends, or they were, so obviously they haven't always had these feelings about you, like, being a bad friend, right? If they do have those.
True.
Alright. So, I would say, just looking at this list, and you're free to look at them too, but I'm just kind of trying to, like, categorize the responses that you're having. So, one that I'm kind of gravitating towards right now, and tell me if you think that this is right, is overgeneralization. So this is like, you see a negative event as like a never-ending pattern of defeat. Like, your friends don't hang out with you, so like you, over time, just feel like a bad friend. Like, But then, it could fall under a few too. So, there's also mental filter, which is you picking out a single negative detail and dwelling on it exclusively so that your vision of all reality becomes darkened, like a drop of ink that discolors the entire beaker of water. So I feel like that one could apply too, kind of.
Yeah.
And does that kind of help shed some light on it for you? Maybe make it a little bit less intense?
It's good to see it explained, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
Makes me feel a little bit better.
Yeah. And like I said, it can fall under a lot of different categories. I know, just looking at this list, I think there's a few that your situation could be related to, but I think at the end of the day, there's one that I think is like really gets into it, which is jumping to conclusions. And that's where you make a negative interpretation, even though there are no definite facts that convincingly support your conclusions. So, with your friends, you're kind of, you're putting a negative, like you have a negative feeling about them hanging out without you, and in turn that makes you think you're, like, isolated and you're a bad friend, when that really isn't the case, from what I can tell.
If you say so.
Okay. And we can use any of them, whatever one you're most comfortable with. I mean, at the end of the day, we're just kind of trying to get a better understanding of what's going on in your head, Mm-hmm. Okay. So, I don't know, of the ones that I kind of mentioned, which one do you think makes the most sense for you?
Probably either overgeneralization or the jumping to conclusions.
Yeah, I think either one, whichever you want.
You're the professional.
I'm just here to help. I'm no better, but I think if you're really pressing me, I guess jumping to conclusions.
Okay. Do I write it down?
Yeah. Alright.
Do I have to define it?
No, you don't.
Thanks.
Mm-hmm. Alright, so basically what we're going to do now is just kind of like probe into those automatic thoughts a little bit more and kind of try to come up with a different thought for you to consider whenever these things happen.
Okay.
So that you maybe don't have it like as visceral a reaction. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
Alright, so let's start with isolation. So you're saying it's, one or two times your friends have hung out without you, or is this like a chronic thing?
It's probably 3 or 4 times.
Okay. All right. And is there another reason that they might not be hanging around with you or asking you to hang out?
I don't know. That's why I'm confused. I can't think of anything else, but I don't know. I don't know their schedules either, what they do, so...
Well, and is it possible that they don't know your schedule?
Maybe.
Okay.
I mean, I don't talk about work very often, I guess.
Yeah, so that maybe has something to do with them not asking you to come out. Maybe they think you're busy.
Maybe.
You know, and that could be maybe that could be a more rational thought to have whenever they don't include you. Would you agree with that?
Yeah, maybe.
Okay. So looking at, like, your automatic thought about being a bad friend, let's talk about that a little bit more. So, how long have you had these friends?
Well, since sophomore year of college.
Okay. And have you ever done anything to them that would be indicative of a bad friend? Like, you know, extreme examples like stealing from them or anything like that?
No, I wouldn't steal from anybody. I mean, we have our disagreements now and then, but I don't think I'm more involved than anyone else is in those.
Yeah, so...
But maybe I am. I don't remember.
Well, I mean, I think that if that's your perception of what's going on, then, you know, we should go with that. I believe what you're saying to me. So, alright. So now we have we're talking about how, you know, you don't identify as a bad friend, really. I mean, that makes you feel like a bad friend, but you haven't done anything that would make you a bad friend to them. So,
not that I know of.
I mean, maybe consider, like, you know, the whole, like, they just don't know your schedule. Again, like, that could be the reason. Alright, so if you feel like it, maybe write down, like, they don't know my schedule as kind of your new response.
Some of them do have kids now, too.
Well, that could also be
But
a part of it.
We're supposed to be friends still.
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely valid that you feel not included, and that, you know, they have children, and so that makes it hard for them to hang out too. And, you know, the lifestyle is obviously different for folks who have kids.
That's true.
So you have to consider that, but I don't know. I don't know them. I'm sure, you know, they're busy too. I'm sure you're busy. Yeah. Alright, so whenever you look at that new response, so replacing these automatic thoughts with, like, they don't know your schedule, how much do you believe that response right now?
Right now, not very much. I mean, it's possible, but I mean, they could ask too.
Can you give me, like, from 0 to 100?
50.
Okay. We're getting somewhere. That's better than I expected. Alright. So looking at these new adaptive response, like this new adaptive response that we've come up with, how much do you believe the automatic thoughts now? On a scale of 0 to 100.
That I'm a bad friend still?
Yeah. After kind of considering the things that we've considered.
80.
80%? Okay. Alright. So, you can write that down if you want, in the last box.
This box?
Yeah. So, let's explore another, like, new response for you to consider. Alright. So, with them not inviting you, so we've kind of gone over, maybe they don't know your schedule, and then also, maybe they're doing something that they don't think that you would enjoy. Have you ever mentioned enjoying doing what they're going out to do together?
I mean, no, they go out to big clubs and stuff, and I mean, I don't like to do that, but still, you know, it's about the principle. It's about being invited.
Do they know that you don't like to go out to clubs?
I mean, I may have mentioned it, but I usually try not to complain the whole time or anything.
Have you, so can you identify a time when maybe you complained to them about that? And, like, would they still remember that?
I mean, maybe.
Okay.
I guess that's possible.
Okay. Maybe write down, they know I don't like the club.
They might know.
They might know.
Okay.
So after you kind of consider that, how much do you believe the automatic thoughts?
65.
Okay. All right. A little better then.
Yeah, getting there.
All right. So now that we've kind of done that a few times, what emotions are you feeling, and how intense are those emotions?
I mean, I kind of feel bad because now I'm starting to think maybe I should say something to them instead of just waiting for them to say something.
I don't think that you should feel bad about that. I mean, I think that you're discovering something right now that you hadn't perhaps thought of before, which is valuable. So it's maybe something to consider for the future. And that, I guess I would say just, be curious with your friends. Just ask them questions, they're your friends, so I would think you could talk to them, but that's totally up to you.
Yeah, I mean, I should try at least, I think.
I think that's definitely a good idea to consider. Alright, so, I know you said you're feeling bad, but kind of after we've kind of fleshed that out, do you feel a little bit better now? I mean, what's your feeling at this moment?
I mean, I feel a little bit better. I think I should at least make an effort to reach out to them before shutting down and leaving completely. But I'm not opposed if they still act like they don't want to hang out, then I'm just gonna ditch them, I think.
Okay, and that's valid. That's your decision. So, I'm supportive of whatever you come to think is the best thing for you. So, are you feeling like super intense about that from 0 to 100?
I'm definitely intensely want to talk to them.
Okay.
And see what they say.
Just feeling really curious right now. All right.
Just have to know now.
Okay. All right. So that's kind of the course of action that you're going to take right now. Is you're going to go talk to your friends?
I think so.
Sounds good. You want to write that down just for your own?
Sure. Just
for intention's sake?
Mm-hmm.
Thank you for putting up with this. I know that it's really hard to write.
It's okay. It's probably a good thing.
Yeah. Well, I hope that this was helpful for you.
I think it was. I don't feel great right now, but like I said, I want to talk to them and see how it goes.
Okay.
I at least have to do something.
All right. Well, thank you for coming in today.
Thank you for helping me.